The man who survived the Hiroshima explosion and then Nagasaki too. On August 6, 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in Hiroshima for work, walking toward the shipyard when the sky suddenly lit up with a blinding white flash. He felt heat like a furnace and a force like thunder. The blast threw him into the air, burning his face and arms. When he opened his eyes, the city he knew was gone, replaced by fire and silence. He walked through streets where buildings had dissolved into dust. People moved like shadows, some calling out names, others too stunned to speak. He did not understand what had happened, only that he had to survive. His ears rang, his vision blurred, but he made his way toward the train station, hoping to return home to Nagasaki. The path was long and filled with smoke and despair, yet something inside him refused to stop. On the train, other survivors sat quietly, wrapped in rags and burns. Some wept, some stared blankly forward. No one had words large enough for what they had seen. When he reached Nagasaki, he told his family and co-workers about the burning sky and the blast that erased an entire city. Many did not believe him. They could not imagine such a weapon. He returned to work the next morning, wounds still raw. As he described the flash to his boss, the air outside glowed again. A second sun bloomed above Nagasaki. The shockwave hit him once more. Walls shattered, glass flew, and the city roared with fire, just as Hiroshima had. It was as if the nightmare had followed him across the country. He stumbled through the chaos, desperate to find his family. Smoke filled his lungs, and every step felt heavier than the last. But he kept moving, guided only by hope. He found his wife and child alive. They had taken shelter in a basement, remembering his warning from Hiroshima. His story had saved them. The destruction around them was overwhelming. Streets were filled with collapsed homes and cries for help. The world had changed again in an instant. Yamaguchi was burned, exhausted, and shaken. Yet he breathed. Twice the fire had tried to claim him, and twice he remained. As Japan surrendered and the war ended, the true scale of the bombings became known. 2 cities destroyed in days. Tens of thousands gone. A new and terrible power had been unleashed into the world. Yamaguchi carried the memories like scars beneath his bandages. For years, he stayed silent, unsure how to describe what he had lived through. But silence has weight. It presses on the chest, tightens the throat, and demands release. Eventually, he began to speak. He traveled and told his story, warning that the world could not afford such destruction again. He spoke not with anger, but with sorrow. Some called him lucky. Others did not believe anyone could survive 2 atomic blasts. He said there was no luck in what he saw, only loss. He described the flash brighter than the sun, the heat that tore skin from flesh, and the way the world seemed to stop in that instant. His body carried reminders of radiation, weakness, pain, days when old wounds burned anew. Yet he continued to tell his story. He spoke to students, scientists, and leaders. He believed humans must choose whether to destroy or protect. In 2009, he was officially recognized as the only person to survive both Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was a title he never wished for. He lived not as a symbol of luck, but as a witness to what must never happen again. Tsutomu Yamaguchi passed away in 2010 at the age of 93, having lived longer than many expected, longer than the cities that burned around him. His life reminds us that even in fire, a heart can endure. Even in unimaginable horror, compassion can survive. He carried 2 sons in his memory, 2 days when the sky burned. Yet he chose to speak of peace, not vengeance. He believed survival brought responsibility, to remember, to warn, to guide others away from repeating the same mistakes. His story is told today not just as history, but as a warning. When power becomes greater than empathy, humanity stands at the edge of its own destruction. Yamaguchi's voice echoes through time, quieter now, but still clear. Do not forget what fire can take. Do not forget what survival can teach. Remember his name. Remember his story. Remember the light that should never rise again.